In this video, I'm going to show you how to find the length of a side of a triangle using trigonometry. In this case, we're given the triangle and some measurements, one side here, an angle, and our unknown side. You always want to double check that there's not other information given to you in the written statement of the question at the top. In triangle QRS, the measure of angle S is 90, the measure of angle R is 29, and SQ is equal to 5.8 feet. Find the length of RS to the nearest tenth of a foot. Pay attention to how accurate they want your answer to be. So we need to find this side. I have these two sides and this angle. Since I know that angle, that acute angle, it's going to be my reference angle. So looking at that angle, I want to determine what are the positions of these two sides. X is adjacent to angle R. This side is opposite angle R. Neither is a hypotenuse, so I'm not going to use a trig function that involves hypotenuse. I'm going to use the opposite and the adjacent. And that reminds me of tangent. Tangent of R is going to be its opposite side over its adjacent side. You want to remember so, ka, toa. That's just a mnemonic to help you remember the relationships of the sides. Tangent is opposite and adjacent. Well, my opposite side is 5.8, and my adjacent side, I don't know. That's x. I know the tangent of r. Tangent of r is going to be 29 degrees, should equal 5.8 over x. Now, I know that most of you don't like fractions, even though fractions are your friend. So if you don't like a fraction, what you can do is you can multiply both sides by the denominator to make that denominator clear. So I'm going to multiply the right side of my equation by x and the left side of my equation by x, and these guys are going to cancel on the right, and so I'll no longer have a fraction. Instead, I will have x times tangent of 29 is going to equal 5.8. Now, tangent of 29 is just some decimal. We can find that decimal using our calculators. Go ahead and grab yours. I'm going to use my cell phone calculator because I suspect that most of you are using a cell phone calculator, even though I really, really prefer a regular calculator. So I turn my cell phone calculator sideways. I want to find tangent of 29 degrees. In the calculator world, you want to make sure it doesn't say anything up here. That means it defaults to degree mode. I want to type in the degrees first and then the tangent. So I will do 29 and then tangent. And it gives me this shockingly long decimal. For our purposes, since we're ultimately going to be rounding to the nearest tenth of a foot anyway, it's sufficient if we round to just say 4 decimal places, more than enough. So x times 0.5543 equals 5.8. And the last step is going to be to get x alone by doing the opposite of multiplying. I'm going to divide both sides by this decimal. I could divide by the rounded off decimal. It's going to be fine. There's a way to do it on the calculator to preserve it using this 1 over x. You could do 1 over it, but we'll get there in another day. So I'm just going to clear and do 5.8, this number, divided by this number. So divided by 0.5543. And I get that x is equal to 10.46. I could round to that, but I want it rounded to the nearest tenth of a foot. This is the nearest hundredth, so the nearest tenth would be this decimal place. That means I need to round up because the ensuing decimal place is larger than 5. So my final answer is that x is going to be 10.5 feet. Since I was given that this 5.8 feet here, that this was in feet. So here's our answer.